Well. Good morning. Buenos dias, mi amigos. It is November 25th, 2024. Welcome to today's live stream. Hope you all had a great weekend. You are well rested, that you are ready to jump into this market. And if not make some money, at least try to make some money. How about that? Being the CEO of your own portfolio. I am Jamie Irvin, and welcome to the morning show with Jamie. For our pre-market, we have last reported for Dow futures is up 0.88%. The S&P futures is up 0.74%, and the NASDAQ futures is up 0.86%. Our Dow futures gained 300 points Monday, following Trump's pick of Besant for Treasury. Europe last reported mostly up. FTSE Milano is the only one down 0.17%. Asia is mixed but mostly up. HSI down 0.41%, and Shanghai down 0.11%. Last reported, all of our indexes were up. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.97%. S&P 500 was up 0.35%. And the NASDAQ was up 0.16%. Russell 2K was up the most, 1.80%. And as of right now, the VIX down 3.35%. So we got plenty of things going on currently. Okay. For earnings, we actually this morning had a couple things that were reported, but Bath and Body Works is probably the main one. After close today, Zoom is reporting. As far as tech, I highlighted Simtech and Agora as the ones that I will be also taking a look at and just watching those after close today. But obviously Zoom is the big dog over there. Tomorrow before the open, analog devices in terms of tech, we got Dick's Sporting Goods, Macy's, Best Buy, and Kohl's are obviously, and Abercrombie and Fitch. They're reporting before the open. Burlington Coat Factory is in there too. So we have the retail space is definitely represented tomorrow before the open. With that being said, I don't know who trades sector ETFs or if anybody does trade sector ETFs, but XLP is consumer staples. XLY would be consumer discretionary. So I'm not sure which one these fit into in terms of those two, but I would imagine consumer staples. But I'll be looking at those two ETFs to see what happens between today and the next couple of days. After close, we have some more tech, which is Dell, CrowdStrike, Workday, Autodesk, Hewlett Packard, Umbrella, Ella, A. We got 3D Systems and Nutanix. So we got quite a bit of tech that is still bringing up Tuesday after close. And then we actually got some stuff on Wednesday that I'm not familiar with. I'm not going to lie. Have not heard of most of these. We had talked about in the previous stream, I believe we were talking about NVIDIA and how, no matter what happens with NVIDIA, the investors are probably going to be expecting big numbers year over year, quarter over quarter. Might be hard to sustain, but I was saying that NVIDIA is not going anywhere because the data center space is growing. And so this is a great example of what I mean by that. I don't know if you guys will be able to click on this link if I drop this in the comment box, but I do think if you can highlight it, want to highlight and paste it, if you're able to do that, I think it's a great read. Because when I was talking about NVIDIA, I was talking about data centers and AI and how much electricity they need. Well, you know, data centers are growing at such a rapid pace that I'm like, NVIDIA is always going to be in need, and there's always going to be other things branching off that impact what's going on with AI and data centers. So one of the things that is this article is basically talking about is how much electricity is required to power the data centers. But once you read the article, you see how many different areas are impacted with these data centers. You know, obviously you got artificial intelligence, but you also got data storage. But some of these private companies are buying land in order to house the data centers. So you got private companies buying easily 23,000 acres of land to be able to build data centers on. So obviously that impacts the real estate market, for example. So, and once you're dealing with the amount of electricity that some of these data centers need is so electricity intensive that you're talking very easily. Some of these data centers need enough power that's the equivalent of a small city, a smaller size city. So this is an article that I think is really good if you're not familiar with data centers, but you may be looking for opportunities in areas that are impacted by data centers, AI, things of that nature. I think this is a good article to give you some information on that, on those spaces. Because once you start reading the articles, if you've been with us for any amount of time, you'll probably just start thinking of tickers that you can start looking at that will probably be impacted by this type of information. Right now, this is US, you know, they're talking about the US, but obviously, you know, data centers are global. So once you talk about cloud computing, you know, there's plenty of stuff in the mix. For our calendar, ForexFactory calendar, we don't have anything being reported today. ForexFactory calendar, but you know that is not the case with investing.com. Alyssa, I sent you, I already pasted the link to one of your 97 Telegram names. The investing.com report information is, so at 8:30, 1 star, Chicago Fed national activity for October. All right. Chicago Fed national activity for October. That's at that was at 8:30. Dallas Fed manufacturing business index for November. That is also a 1 star. We got that's 10:30, 3-month bill auction at 11:30, 1 star. 6-month bill auction, 1 star, 11:30. 2 stars, 2-year note auction at 1 o'clock. So there's a little bit of something's happening. A little bit of something's jumping off, but not as much as we would normally get. Okay. But we know that there is something. And we also know that investing.com usually has more to give us than what it does. All right, let's take a look at our Mancini numbers. Mancini. First of all, good morning, everybody. Alyssa, Norrie Standard, Lady T, Lisa Henry, and Ward Wilson. Janae, good morning. Appreciate you. All right, let's see what we got going on here for our Mancini numbers. Try to blow this. Remember to blow this stuff up so y'all can actually see it on the screen. Patience paid all day Friday here in newsletter. I posted SPX had built a 2-week bull flag with 59.61 resistance and breakout incoming. We got to it and ran to 59.90 plus target. Today, let runners work. 59.90 is weak. 59.83 is support. Oh, got you. 59.90 and 59.83 are supports. If it keeps 60.08 to 60.13 is a reaction, and then 60.27 plus is live. 59.83 fails, fill gap. So I'm going to start with 59.83. You have any tickers or anything that you want looked at, feel free to drop the ticker. All right, so let us take a look at. Oh, you know what? I accidentally logged into my to the wrong account. That's fine. This is Think or Swim. We look at that gap up for this morning. Boom. Somebody decided to take off. All right, so we're gonna put the Mancini numbers in here. Right. This is what we'll be watching for today. So we got 59.83. Let's drop that on there. That's going to be the one. That's the if it fails, goes below that. That's when it's gonna be an issue. Right, Mancini. I call that the linchpin because that's the one that we want to check to see if it's going to go past. Right, so we'll say okay. This is the one we're watching. If it breaks past this one, he said, start filling this up right here. Makes sense. So 59.83 is support. Let's get that going. 59.83 is support. And we want to get that in there. And I'll just say support. Say sup for support. Sup. Right. And there you go. So when Mancini talked about the gap, I remember there were two of which were filled. I'm not sure what the question is, if that's a question or a statement. Which is which? Is that a statement? Remember two that was filled recently? I think that's what that means. It was two gaps that was filled recently. We'll check them on the 15-minute chart in a second. We got 60.27 as well at the top, which is he's saying if it gets, Jesus, come on now, what are you doing?
Just keep going. I got you.
I can't keep going because you're blocking my screen. I'm looking at two different screens. What? Okay, so 60.27 is what we're looking at up here. And we're going to turn this into summer green. We got cash money. So this is the one that was the live. Say live. Oh, she was saying I have a 58.50 gap in my chart. I got you. All right. She had a 58.50 gap in her chart. So that's what she was referencing. Yes, ma'am. That means that, yeah, that was a previous. Thank you for clarifying. Okay. We don't need to mark our 15-minute chart yet. Before we bounce around to the other tickers, obviously, Alyssa, I'm assuming, wants to chime in with something. So let's switch it over to her.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing this Monday? It's Turkey Day Monday. A little cool down here in Jacksonville, probably a little cool in other places too. The Jacksonville opened this morning at 39 degrees, and then they said we're going up to 80s. Like that's a 40-degree. That them sound like SPX numbers that we're gonna swing 40 points in, a day. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. Yesterday when we were on, I told you all that we didn't have this graphic just yet. I finished it last night, made sure it was published to all the places. So if you, of course, follow me in all the places or any place, any of the places, you probably saw this graphic already, but there's a lot going on here, right? The put credit spread area, we've got everything from, Costco, we've got DIA, we've got Disney is here, Morgan. So we've got money here, we've got hardware here, Starbucks, Triple Q, Schwab is here, TJ Maxx, which would be retail stuff. We've got hospitals, UNH, which is healthcare. Walmart is here. We got we got gas. We got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, you name it. We got you name it. I didn't even sing the song. Y'all should give me some credit. I didn't even sing it. I wanted to, but I didn't. I didn't sing it. Okay. Call credit spreads. We've got AbbVie, um, Merck, and Pepsi, TLT, and iron condors. IBM, McDonald's is here, 3M, Microsoft is down here in the lower risk because this is, remember, when I pull this list together, I'm pulling it together based on the lower risk things. Microsoft fell into the lower risk neutral side. UPS is there. UPS, I actually hesitated to put UPS here. I know it's showing neutral on the 50 period moving average, but I thought, you can tell me what your thoughts are. UPS as a bit of an upwards move based on the fact that we've got, Black Friday, people will be shipping and sending things that the UPS and FedEx, those make. But now these are only for this week. So just because it's showing neutral for this week doesn't mean it will stay there. So that, that's just something for you to consider. I was thinking about that. But anytime we do iron condors, you should definitely look at entering, one side versus the other and then get the other side based on the direction. So you enter with the trend first. All right. Answer with the trend. And then once it hits some kind of resistance or support, depending on which way there's trending, then you can enter the other side. Okay. I do want you to keep in mind, and Jamie said this, I'm just reiterating that this is Thanksgiving week. It may have low volume. There may be low volume here this week. So you want to be mindful of that if you're putting on weeklies, keeping in mind that theta is going to drain on the Wednesday from Wednesday to Friday. Data drain works out great for us as sellers, but a significant change in price over that period of time does not work for us as sellers. So you want to, balance that and be wise as you're going through the week. Okay. I think that was all I wanted to share. There are a few, I've got another for those who are, hanging out in the, for those who are hanging out in our community or just hanging out here at YouTube. I do have I do have 3 products now that are half off for Black Friday. The latest one today was the Credit Spreads Masterclass. The Credit Spreads Masterclass is what goes with this list. With this list, or is it this list? Depending on which way you're looking, it goes with this list. So this is credit spreads. This is the Credit Spreads Masterclass goes along with this list. So if you're looking at this list every week, wondering what is all this and what is it you're trying to sell, or what is it that what training I can go to go along with this, this is the training, the Credit Spreads Masterclass. It is half off for Black Friday. You can go to educatortotrader.com and use educatortotrader.com and put an R there.com. Use BLKFRRI as your coupon code to get the ones I've shown the SPX training, that full SPX training, the wheel strategy. is there, as well as the credit spreads now, credit spreads masterclass is there. All of those are 50% off for Black Friday. Okay. All righty. I believe that's all I had, Jamie.
All righty. BOKFRI, people. 6 letters. All right. So don't forget, we are at 60-20, 6,020 and 25 is the high right now. We're at the all-time high levels when it comes to SPX. So there's a whole lot of everything that we need to be aware of as it relates to what could possibly happen up here. This is, new territory, needing to find seller levels, etc. But so for today's gap up, we got about, Alyssa, what are you doing? For today's gap up,
Stuff is showing up on the screen. You had what was on the screen was my graphic. That's not what you wanted. That's what you were talking about. So I took it off.
I have no idea what you're doing right now, Chief.
Okay.
Take your hands
Well,
off of the mouse.
I cannot. Sorry. And as you just said, Chief, yes. So I cannot take my hands off of it just yet. But
Back away from the PC. No, I got you.
I got you.
Oh, you were trying to take off the Black Friday?
Yeah, no, I was trying to take off I had the graphic with all the trades on it was still on the screen, and you were talking about a chart. So
No, that was
I
already
got you.
gone.
It
That was
was
already
back.
gone. I had already
Continue.
switched those up. I got you.
Continue.
So Mancini has these 60-27. He has 60-27 live, which is up here. So that's one of the targets that's above, basically saying that it could go higher than that. We already broke the new 6,008 to 6,013, which is where he was saying if it keeps 6,008 through 6,013. So we're up in the rafters, in the nosebleeds, if you will. So this is something to watch for right now. Okay. We will keep a lid on this. I will get back to SPY in a second. We did have a request for NVIDIA. So let's check out NVIDIA. All right. And I'm going to clear this drawing set here. So this is not a problem in terms of charting, but it is something that I will highlight as interesting. On some of the charts, I've been seeing candles that look like this. It'll be a what's called a basing candle. Some people refer to it as a pivot candle, but it'll be way longer than the out candle. So normally when we're looking at candle patterns, let's say formations, I would say formations is probably more accurate. We might be looking at leg in, base, leg out. And usually the small candle in the middle is the one where we look to be the one for indecision, right? That represents just some type of change between the in candle and the out candle, especially if it's in the seller zone or in a buyer zone, leg in, base, leg out. So this one normally is going to be smaller than these two. I've been seeing on quite a few charts where this base candle, and obviously this is all price action, but the base candle is not small at all. Some of the charts I've been seeing recently, the base candle was almost as long as the out candle, or the intro candle, but the out candle was the one I tend to pay attention to more. And I'm just highlighting that because it makes it weird to chart when you have such a large candle, depending on how, where you came from when you chart it. Like naturally, we would be charting this leg in, one in the base, two in the base, leg out. Some people probably would chart it this way, right? And use this as a small leg in. But that base that price action was so, I guess you could use the word dramatic, volatile. whatever word you want to use, last week, that it showed up kind of weird on that. Alyssa, how do you normally? Well, I don't. You don't chart it the way we probably normally chart it with IWT. But what do you think about those base candles that are longer than the out candle?
So that goes back to my 1, 2, 3s in strat. So I mean, I keep that in mind, but I still would show that candle that you have there, that green, as your support, and that bigger candle, the one you're talking about, the red one, would just be a 3. So until like the last candle now is a 2 down because it is now outside. So the next to the last candle is a 1 because it's consumed inside of the previous candle. You with me so far?
No, actually, what I was going to ask you to do was explain that for those of us, as though
Okay.
everybody don't know what the strat is.
Okay. Okay. So the strat has numbered candles 1, 2, and 3. A 1 candle is basically inside of the previous candle. Let me see. I need to put my picture back on the screen so that way people can see my hand motions. So this is a 3 candle would be like this big, and a 1 candle would be in the middle somewhere. So it's not being, it's not outside the top or the bottom of a candle. So that would be the 3 candle. The 3 candle would be that one, the big one that you were just mentioning. I'm bringing it back to the screen now, I believe. That 3 candle would be the big one you just mentioned, right? The big one that's the highest, that would be a 3. And the candle, yep, that one is a 3 candle. And the one next to it now to the right, that would be a 1 candle. It is basically confined inside of that 3. So a 3 is outside of the top and bottom of its previous candle. And then once you have a breakout candle, which is the last one, it's basically it broke out to the bottom. That's called a 2 down. That's an indication that it's, maybe more downside going, and it will go down as low as, well, the next target could go as low as the bottom of that green candle, the bottom of that doji to the left. That one, yes. So that the bottom of that candle, the low of that candle would be the target, would be the next target there. So you got a 3, 1, and a 2 down. Once that last candle went lower than that previous candle, once that one went lower than the one before it, that was the entry place going down.
Okay, thank you for that. So, well, then if we are charting this according to, let's say, buyer zone and seller zone, as in how IWT would chart it, then how does that change the perception of this? In other words, if we were charting this according to IWT, what would we be doing with these lines based on this candle? Or would we not be? We would have to be marking it somehow.
Right. So I would mark the open of that big candle, the 3 candle. I would bring that line down to the top of the box because you see a bunch of different ones that also hit that same, they're kind of like in that same area.
You're saying you would bring this line down here?
Down to there. Yep.
What?
Yep. Now
Okay.
you could do 2 lines. I mean, of course, remember you're doing the distal and the proximal because
Oh,
I
that's
still,
right. But this is
I
all-time
remember.
highs as well.
Yeah. So
Right
yeah,
now. So.
I would put it at the top of that box because you see there's 4 or 5 candles before that have the same like general area where it's reversed in that area. So that to me would be a good resistance. It can go as high up as 152, of course. So if you were marking proximal and distal lines, you could mark the other one too. I don't generally mark 2 lines, but if you mark 2 lines, you could do that. You could do 2 of them, that one, yep, and then put the proximal back down to the box.
All right.
You could do that. So that still gives you your sell zone resistance area, however whatever phrasing you use as it. And then now where the price is currently now is in a buy zone, right? And you've got the buy zone marked pretty good. I probably would put that doji line below the box, but that's very only a little bit of distance.
The doji line below what box?
So the line, I would bring that line no up That next, the little green doji, I would bring the line with that one below the doji. So the line, yep, that one. I would bring that line below the box.
That's not where it closed.
Okay.
So why would you bring it down there if that's not where it closed?
Because that's where it dropped down to an opened. That was the opening place. So that would be that day's open was there. I would do it there. Either place I think would be fine. I don't want us
Okay.
to split hairs. I think that's splitting hairs on if you're in that area, this is the sell zone area. I mean, the buy zone area.
I got you. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We cannot split hairs only because I'm mostly bald. So
I'm not. I've got lots of hairs to split, but
so we will be splitting your hairs, if anything. I
okay, and I
shave.
don't like to do that. I don't like to do that. So
I
let's
keep it
just leave
all
it
shaved
there.
off. So for those of you who are familiar with IWT, buyer zone and seller zone is leg in, base leg out, which is what I was referring to. The strat with the numbers is something that's totally different. But the point I'm highlighting is there's different strategies that can be used to draw the same conclusion. But the important thing is being aware of where the zones are. That's the most important thing is understanding where the zones are, where the buyers are sitting, where the sellers are sitting, and that nature. So regardless of where you place the lines, just understand what is happening. All right. So right here, there's buyers. Right here, there's sellers. So this is where we will be waiting to see what's happening in terms of whether or not this will turn around. This is, to me, pretty decent buyer zone right here. So greetings and salutations tomorrow. So for our purposes of what we're looking at right now, someone was asking about NVIDIA. As far as I'm concerned, these zones are close together. The seller zone and the buyer zone are very close together. No surprise there, because when you look at NVIDIA, of course, we all know that it has been on its way up. These retracements are these pullbacks are kind of small right now. Have been rather small lately. When it pulls back, it hasn't really been pulling back deep or anything of that nature. So, but in this case, I'll be watching NVIDIA to see what it does. See what ends up happening right here. So if it starts, blowing through here and not coming back up, this seems to be the next level that it will be trying to come down to. And it has not fully filled this gap right here either. Actually, a gap happening right here that is not completely full. All right. So it could very well come down there and get there and do something as well. Right? What is that? Wow, 127. I'll say this. It doesn't work for me, but I'll tell you what I'm seeing on the chart. Let me say it that way. Call credit spreads never work for me when I try to do them on NVIDIA. In the history of me in NVIDIA, there has never been a call credit spread that has worked. Despite the fact that this looks to be pulling back, looks to be dropping, I would have to look at my moving averages and see what the moving averages are saying. Let's see here. Nothing clear as far as I'm concerned. This is the 55. No, this is the 50. Whichever one Peakbot uses. That's the 50 moving average Peakbot uses. So this is the 50 moving average here. This is the 20, and this is the 10. So in terms of moving averages, it is sitting right between two moving averages. The stronger one being at the bottom. So that's something, obviously, some people would be looking to go above this. If you're a seller, we could be looking at going above, doing the CCS for a call credit spread, probably at 143. Somewhere in there, one spread, 144 minus 143. That's $100 collateral, so collected 14 cents. So that's a $14 collected on $100 collateral. That's over 10% return on collateral. So some people would start off going up here and just waiting to see what happens. I'm not upset at all if you chose to do that. 143 is about right here. NVIDIA has already had earnings. So whatever other surprises could be very well news related. I can tell you though, that it's stuff like this that usually ends up triggering for me, because it'll start off with, oh, it's in the buyer zone. The next thing I know, it's going through my call credit spread. So anyway, but if I'm looking for a call credit spread, 143, that's 80%. That 80% out the money. 143 is, yep, 79% out the money, which usually would be considered pretty good spot in terms of it's closer to 80%. So yeah, 127. The current price is 137, 137.57 for NVIDIA. And yeah, 143 is about what that strike would be. All right. So I'm looking for any more just to be on the safe side. So that's how I would start that. I would not do a right now. I would not do a put credit spread. I mean, I'll watch, but I certainly wouldn't be putting any numbers in. See here. I'm going to take off. Notice that the moving averages are showing support for SPY. Okay, we got this young gap that happened right here. Let's do this. Again, since we are at all-time highs, there is no seller's level for us to be able to figure out what you want to do at the top. We got daredevils, don't get me wrong. I say daredevils, you can call them whatever you want to, but in my case, daredevils would be people who may not see a clear seller's level, but will seek to find one in some way. Not something that I'm comfortable with, but I live in my fears when it comes to some of this stuff. So Bob Lariola style. If you don't know who that is, don't worry. But this is what I have for SPY. But again, call credit spread, I wouldn't mess around up there just to be on the safe side. So I would be somewhere in 595. I'll be at 595 is where I would be looking. Too early in the day to tell, but on the one spread, it's about 10%. So about 10 to 12%. So that's $10 to $12 collected on $100 collateral. I wouldn't be mad about that. But we'll have to watch this definitely to see how much of this gap it eats into through the course of the day or what have you. But call credit spreads, I wouldn't be messing around with them for right now. All right. Good morning, Drew. 3778. Is it March 7th? 78? That's for. All right. We're gonna look at Russell. And what we'll do is, so like a lot of the things that we are looking at right now. So this is Russell 2000, the small cap stocks. If you're on, if you are on TradeStation, last time I checked, they did not have Russell. What they had was IWM, the ETF, which is essentially the same thing. At the time, they also didn't have SPX. You had to use SPY. Call right. So this just represents the gap up. And it is, most of these are pretty much at their highest point. I just marked it like the previous week and the previous day numbers, things like that. But I'm really going right here. Right. So the all-time high is 2446. And I'm just marking the 15-minute candle. Those who trade the breakout, the 15-minute breakout. Whoops. We're going to do the 15-minute breakout for this will mark as well as the one on SPX, and then we will keep it moving. Keep it moving, right? Hopefully made some money last week. I got you some paper out the market. There you go. So this is the first candle. It's been the first 15 minutes. And so I'll be waiting to see what happens for a breakout here in either direction. This gap up from this morning could provide support. So we will see. But as of right now, it hasn't done anything. A lot of times I see Russell break out of its 15-minute before SPX. And so I actually do watch both of those. And this is the Russell. I'm sorry, this is SPX on the 15-minute chart. And I keep having to change colors because I do stuff from a Mac and from a Windows machine, and trying to get your colors to stay the same is pretty much impossible from machine to machine. So this is the SPX. It has not broken out of its 15-minute yet. So this is where we will be just sitting tight and waiting. Alyssa, did you want to talk about the membership?
You can mention it.
You the membership, Chief.
Oh, so now we back to Chief. Okay, here we go. Yes, Chief, that would be me.
Oh
The option seller zone membership. This is the seller zone over here, right? We're sellers, and over in these parts, our membership is open. We basically learn together, we trade together, and we profit together all the sellers way. A wonderfully supportive community. If anybody has been like on our calls as we've engaged with one another, you see that this is a nice little camaraderie we have. We're using profitable strategies that will help us to spend a little bit less screen time. We don't need as much screen time. And we have daily profits that are set to grow your account. All right. So training, support, all the good things that you're looking for. We got all those things over here. You're free and welcome to join us over at educatortotrader.com and go to the membership and come on and join us over there. We'd love to have you. All righty.
Word. Educated to trader. Don't forget the number 2 there, people. That's important. It's a number 2 trader. Okay. Reason why I say that is because when AI does the captioning, they don't assume that there's a number 2. So they'll put a TO there. All right. So let's run back through to see what our latest numbers are for our indexes. Dow Jones Industrial Average, 0.99% right now. It is up. S&P is up 0.54%. The NASDAQ is up 0.41%, and the Russell 2K is up the most, 1.53%. The VIX is down 3%, 14.78. Our E2T daily declaration. By faith, I'm a wise and successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. Oh, by the way, before we do the E2T prayer, how is the chart and trade going, ma'am?
Chart and trade is going phenomenally. We've done 3 sessions so far. I believe we've done 2 sessions. This is session 3, happens tomorrow actually, because it's Thanksgiving week. So we're going to do session 3 tomorrow. Going a little bit deeper into options. We started with the options basics last week. We'll get a little more into options this week and start to introduce the strategies. I've had some people who have been like, I've got my information, but I don't know how to use all this. And I was like, yeah, we're building. If I was to drop everything that you needed all on you at one time, people who already lost, you'd really be lost if I dropped all this information on you in one sitting. So tomorrow, we will start to do where we hit some more options basics, and then we'll start to work our strategies. But it's going very well. Those who want to join us, you still can. If you're ready for the strategies, if you already know options basics and you now ready to join in for the strategies, then come on and join us again over at educatortotrader.com. Join the membership that automatically puts you into chart and trade. All righty. You are welcome. You are welcome here. You're welcome over there with us.
Awesome, awesome. All right, everybody. Our E2T daily prayer. Thank you for that, Alyssa. Our E2T daily prayer, Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. All right, everybody. We don't have anything according to our ForexFactory. We don't have anything major, but investing.com says otherwise. But in terms of any heavy hitters stepping up to the plate for earnings, after close today, Zoom will be the only one. So this should be an interesting day of trading. That being said, thank y'all so much for swinging by. We appreciate seeing you. Appreciate you hanging out, giving us the tickers that you need. All right. Alyssa, you got anything you need to say before we bounce? Okay, everybody. You all have a great trading day. And we will see you all on, I believe, Wednesday. I believe the market is open on Wednesday. So we
Yes.
will see you all on Wednesday.
I'll
All
see
right.
you
Enjoy your
Wednesday.
Thanksgiving if we don't see you. Definitely enjoy your Thanksgiving if we don't see you. Y'all have a good one.
Bye, everyone.